Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to
Evening.
another Monday. It's knit night. Glad to see you, everybody here. We've got Therese,
Hey.
who's over there, and the lovely Ann Pinkava,
Here.
who didn't get to stick around last time, but things are better this time.
I
And
hope
Annie
so.
from Stitch in the Sky, our new cover model for Blocked
Hello.
magazine. And Neil himself, Mr. Blocked, out there telling it like it is in the magazine knitting world. I liked that you posted all the issues on
Oh,
Instagram
the
and,
covers.
all the
Mhm.
covers. Yeah,
That
that
Yeah,
was
many.
cool.
I put them together, and it was suddenly like, wow, I didn't realize. I mean, obviously, I knew I'd done that many, but I kind of, when you just see them all, it's like,
You
oh
see?
wow,
Yeah.
there's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of stuff going on, a lot of
A
people
Absolutely.
lot
to
of work.
complain about.
It's very cool though because you're just going stronger. You know.
Mhm.
I think,
Oh,
yeah, it's definitely improving, isn't it? I think it's
Yeah.
like, what's the word? Growing. It's kind of doing its own thing almost.
Mhm.
It's becoming its own baby, its own personality.
yeah. And I don't see anybody from Craftsnark alluding to it without saying the name anymore about how bad it is.
They're not allowed to, though. Don't forget that they're not
Well,
allowed to.
no, but they try to get around that by not actually naming it.
Yeah, the
You know.
The magazine
he
that
who
came out
shall not
today.
be named and all that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, you're Voldemort of knitting, I guess.
Hitler, Voldemort. I mean,
Yep,
all
something
the
like
bad
that.
guys.
So how's everybody this fine end of June already? Beginning of July, I
July
guess. God Lord, it's
1st.
beginning of July. What's everybody up to?
Well, I'm
Same old.
recovering from the magazine.
Oh, fair enough. It's a
Where are
really
you
It's
cool
going?
out.
issue.
I'm done until the next one.
Yeah, yeah. It was,
Right.
I had that. I have this cycle of stress, and it builds up and builds up as the new issues due, and it's all self-imposed. You know what I mean? I put it all on myself because it's up to me at the end of the day. But it's almost like I've got a boss in the back of my mind who's going to fire me if I don't get this out in time. And then
There's a
once it's
thing
out,
called delegating.
Yes, his boss is going to fire him from his own free magazine. Hello, chat.
Ew, chat.
$7 to get the issue spiral bound at Staples. Oh, that's very cool.
yeah, I think Senko, has been printing them off right
Nice.
from day one. I think, and getting them
Yeah,
all
yeah.
bound.
She's
I think,
she's the one who
Wow.
said that.
yeah.
Two sisters. Hi, Amy. Maybe we'll see you later. So Anne is
That's
counting
awesome.
down the days, I guess, till
Yes.
Shark Week
Yes.
2024.
Yes, that's my cycle of stress. Is Shark Week coming up?
But it's going to be less stressful because of Google Forms.
That's true. Not a sponsor. But yeah,
Although,
I got the stationery in today. I've been getting different yarn and I have my yarn that I'm going to use. It's beautiful.
Ooh, is that Holly's?
That's Holly's, yeah.
That's so pretty. I have some of that. Her yarn is so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I have the other here. One second. Let me grab the other yarn that I got and a pattern. Ugh, here we go. Yes. There's Chicken Lady's yarn.
Yeah,
As per giveaway.
Lynn's yarn to me is very beachy
Mhm.
and like at the shore, and then Holly's yarn is like deep sea.
Right. It's two very different moods, which is cool. I mean,
Yes.
since it's blue and other thing. But yeah, I'm gonna go with that shawl for Shark Week. I'm very
Nice.
excited.
Very pretty.
How
How many skeins does it take?
it takes 2 skeins of fingering, which I got.
Oh, that's doable.
Yeah, so that should be a pretty workable shawl. And I don't know if you can tell, but you work the center bit out and then it's garter on the wings.
Oh, nice.
So, and it's a lace pattern for the thing. But yeah, the name isn't necessarily on theme, so bummer, but I think it kind of looks like a compass rose. I've been meaning to make it for a while. So
you
Very
could just
cool.
say they're all shark fins. It's not a star.
yeah.
Each one is a shark.
Yeah, they're circling. They're getting getting closer. But yeah, I think that'll be pretty. So yes, I have Yeah, I have all that. So I have prizes coming in. Google form is open. I just need to do another social media posts, stationery for when the stickers comes and envelopes. They're here. Like it's like all of the little check mark things down the line. But
Very cool. What are you
I got to
making?
do my
Neil?
Google Docs thing.
Sorry, Liz, what did you say?
I said, what are
Sorry.
you making? Sorry, Trees.
For Shark Week? I
Duh.
don't know yet. I'm not sure. I have
It's not like you haven't had a year to plan.
Yeah, I can't say I know nothing about it, can I?
no, but I think
Liz,
too.
what you want about? What?
I know. He's been busy. We give him credit.
It's busy. It's got magazine brain.
I've got a couple of ideas. I might make a shawl. So, and just go for it with
Ooh.
2 skeins. Might do, but I need to find the right shawl.
Trees, what are you doing?
I am going to make shorty DK weight socks.
Oh, that's right. You told me.
Don't have the theme. Sort of. Blood splatter. It doesn't spatter. It doesn't spatter, but it's still blood. And then heels and toes in just red.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah. So that'll
What
be
are
my
you doing?
stress next week is trying to get it done.
You'll get it done. You can bang out a pair of shorty socks.
Well, Annie, you need to up your game from last year, don't you? Because what did you make?
No.
Made an entire sweater, I believe, last year.
I made a ranunculus, but I think I knew I could do it. Well, I'm going to do a baby cardigan.
Okay.
That's smart.
And I might do a hat to match if I've got the time.
Kat, I believe Anne did a 3 skein shawl last year, so 2
Um,
skeins. Or was it for the puritanical?
No, I'm trying
No,
to
you
remember.
did 3.
No,
you did
I
the
think
shark
it was.
tooth.
Yeah, I did the shark tooth. I
Shark tooth.
think it was only 2 skeins. I had got 3 skeins for the project,
Oh, okay.
but it was a Stephen West, and he lies. And I'm like,
Yes, he does.
so I was very happy, and I was knitting it, going, "There's no way I'm going to finish another skein of this." And actually, I had, I don't know, probably about 20 grams left over. I didn't actually measure it. I'm just eyeballing it.
Yeah.
I can't believe
Oh,
Neil
no,
thinks
don't
I
knock
should
over
up
Justin.
my game.
My crooked
What's that,
shark
sorry?
picture.
I can't believe you think I should up my game after making that shawl.
Well, isn't that the idea
Yes.
that we're all supposed to stretch ourselves a little bit more each time?
Well, I'm doing mine has 3 colors, but it's not completely 3 skeins. It's the
Yeah, it's time
Be
dependent.
Yourself shawl. So it's like maybe 1.5 to 2 skeins. So it should definitely be
Okay.
doable.
Ah,
And I have one color that's on theme, which is Sea to Me from Earth and Empress, which is pretty.
Ooh.
And then this is Malabrigo Hollyhock. And this is
That's nice.
some random skein wool weave. It doesn't have a name, it has a number. So I'll be right back.
Have to take the number and make it in some sort of nautical context.
Yes.
Who's got boy racers?
I think that was
Oh,
Anne,
that's-
wasn't it? Was it you?
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few guys who like to race down my street. So
We have them quite nearby, but I think there was one on my last video. I haven't got much of anything up here. Oh, I'm having a crazy time. I'm now altering the last prom dress.
The last one.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm on the
Ah,
last one. But
but
I've
you
got
can't wait, can you?
yeah, I've got wedding dresses after that.
Oh, that must be harder.
They're quite similar in construction, really. To be honest, it's very similar. But yeah, I had a bit of a nightmare fitting today.
Go
Oh,
on,
no.
what happened?
The bride didn't speak English, so the groom was there also, and the baby.
Oh.
The baby was screaming. She wanted it tighter. She wanted a lace-up back, a backless dress, which like you can either do one or the other.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So
got her in the end.
Bridezilla.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
have
I know
the patience.
We
that you've
can't
got.
speak the same language, but she never looked me in the eye all the time she was in the room.
Oh.
Which I find that a bit bizarre.
That's
What
weird.
language did she speak?
Romanian.
Oh.
He told me the word for cat and the word for dog, but I can't remember either of them now. Oh dear.
It's probably Cato and Hundo, isn't it? That's probably
It was
something like that.
Something, yeah.
Okay, sorry. Family stuff.
My hands are aching with unpicking.
So what did I miss?
What's everyone knitting on now? What's everyone working on?
I
I'm
am
not
working
knitting on anything.
What are
on
you doing today?
Wow.
Oh, that's
Designing.
nice.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that one of
lovely.
your designs?
And then
Very
the sleeves
nice.
are all cables down the sleeves all the way to the end.
Oh, that's pretty.
Is that the one that you had to do some surgery on, or you had to rip it out? and
Yes,
start
I had to
again?
rip out an entire sleeve because I
Mm.
did it wrong, and then I fixed it, and then right before the end, like 5 rows before the end, I did it wrong again. I realized I had done it wrong again 20 rows previous,
No.
and it was just easier to it's sleeve, so it's easier just to rip out and reknit than because
Mhm.
there's not that many
Chink back,
stitches.
yeah.
And I cursed myself because I was talking to someone and saying, oh, everyone hates knitting sleeves and second sleeve syndrome, and I was like, oh, sleeves don't bother me. The second sleeve usually goes
God,
faster than the first because you already know the stitches, and then boom.
When you get to the fourth sleeve, then it's a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, the fourth sleeve was the killer, actually. So, my son
Oh,
just came
that must
home
have-
and stopped
oh.
by.
I think I'd have given up at that point. I'd have just been like, oh,
Mhm.
put it in
No.
in the box.
I was
The
gonna
naughty
put it in a
box.
box, but then I wouldn't have finished it. So
Right.
Plus, it's
working
your
on this
pattern,
till
isn't
Shark
it?
Week.
So,
yeah, I mean this is just the first generation. There's things I'm going to change, I know already, but this one will probably be a one of a kind for my daughter, and then I'll change it up for the pattern.
Nice.
So, but I'm learning new techniques. Oh, and I found this pattern that I think we should all knit and drive ourselves crazy together at the same time.
Oh.
doesn't sound good.
Already.
Oh, that's not it. I'll have to remember what it is, though. Hold on. You guys keep talking. Let me find it again.
I'm knitting on the bottom bit of my jumper.
Oh, what's that? Oh, you've been. Oh, is that the one
Yeah.
you were working on?
Oh,
this
you're
week
so
as well?
close.
Yeah.
It's upside down. This has to
So-
be 1.5 centimeters longer.
So that's the extra bit, isn't it? That's kind of like a mock undergarment
It's
thing,
like
isn't
there's
it?
another top underneath.
Right. And do you have? Does it have like a second
This bit's mohair.
neckline or anything?
More
It's
horse.
still got mohair. Wow.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
I'm surprised there's any left in the whole country after.
Yeah, it goes quite
Well,
well.
one of our friends,
That's the
she's not the
size
only
split.
one. Someone else is knitting it in mohair, too.
Yeah, in mohair, yeah.
Ah.
Got to think of something to do with this yet.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're set.
Nice.
Mhm.
That.
You can knit a smaller one.
Nice
You
colours.
can knit the small version.
Very pretty.
How many grams or meters have you got altogether of that?
Well, this
Is
is
it all
25-gram
mohair?
balls.
Of mohair. So
That's
you've got
150 grams in there.
right. And how much can you? How much of a garment could you make with mohair of that? Because I've never knitted just with mohair, so I can't.
Goes quite a long way.
Scares me.
Could you make a whole
The
sweater
thought
with
of
that amount or not?
Yeah,
You could.
yeah, I
Right.
think so, yeah.
Oh, because it's lace weight, isn't it? But you knit.
Yeah.
Would you knit it with 5mm though, or quite a big
I think one of the Hohi sweaters, a couple of the Hohi sweaters are mohair. They might be mohair and fingering alternated, but you could do it all in mohair.
Yeah, I've got an Elton
Yeah, there's-
cast on.
The
Yeah.
Elton, yeah,
That is.
and the Milton is the newer one.
Mm-hmm.
I shall find
This
something
is the one I
one day.
found.
I need to
It's
blend
called-
the colours together.
Oh,
you
it's
wear
very
it well. It's got
Mm.
ribbing around the bodice, but it starts with a saddle shoulder and then a contiguous shoulder and then some weird shoulder shaping and short rows. It's got like every technique and under the sun in it. So I think it'd be something fun to try to learn the different techniques.
And then
Sport
you
weight.
said, okay, sport weight. So you said there's ribbing at the waist, but is it just plain knit the way down, or is it a pattern?
There's ribbing in the bodice and then down at the bottom, and then there's big wide collars that are ribbed. But there's like saddle shoulder and set-in sleeves, but it's supposed to be seamless. So I just thought it'd be fun once all the knit-alongs and everything were over to try it to learn the techniques,
Uh-huh.
because I always want to learn new techniques on how to make stuff.
Right. It's very pretty.
Yeah, it is. I found it on Lovecrafts because I have a lot of sport weight, and I have the yarn for the pressed flowers, but I don't feel like starting that yet. So I was thinking of using up some other stash yarn because we are into stash fluffing. At least trying
I
to.
was looking at Sweater Freak. She was having a sale. And I was looking at a couple of the mosaic shawls that she has. There's I forget the name of it. There's one Therese did, which is just fantastic. There's another one. It was very pretty, but it was a 3 skein shawl. I'm like, that's too far for Shark Week. And I'm not sure I can learn mosaic in a week too.
Mosaic's
Super
quite
easy.
quick,
The
though,
one I did was super easy.
Hey!
Hey.
Hey, Cabot Cove Knits, we miss you.
Exactly.
You know, you're always welcome to pop in. We'll even talk Jessica Fletcher if you do.
Oh, it took me a minute to realise who it was. That's nice.
Gee,
Yeah,
Tabitha,
lovely.
he's forgotten you already.
Well, she did keep changing her name, doesn't she? It's like,
You're out of sight, out of mind now, it
she's
seems
getting
like.
as bad as Emma in the moment. Changing her name.
Oh, now you're just being mean.
That's
I'm only saying it because she can't answer back. Well, not.
I mean, she
not with
can.
the voice.
Anytime. You could do one of those rant videos. What Neil from Block Magazine said about me, and then she has angry face on the thumbnail.
It's all a bit rant, isn't it? It's all a bit fast as well. She speaks really quickly. I had a bit on this
Emma?
afternoon. Yeah.
Yeah, did you? I watched that one about the, what were they called? The big
the
boy
crochet hook
handles
thing.
or something? Is it big boy handles or big bloke handles or something? It didn't seem that
I both
interesting.
pop
Really.
our heads up at that.
remember.
Okay.
We both were like, what the?
Well, yeah, they do look a bit rude, actually. To be fair, you know, and I think there was a rude version of them, wasn't there? She blurred it all out. So
Are
yeah,
you talking about?
you stick
Well, they might
your
look rude to
crochet
some
hook in them.
people.
They're like ergonomic, yeah. And I can't think what they're called. Everyone was going crazy. All the crocheters were going crazy about them a while back. And they're
Yes, for
called
start seeing them.
Has the podcaster formerly known as Emma chosen a new name?
No, apparently not. It's so it's still on the name of her channel though. She's not looking good. I think her.
Hasn't been in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't want to be horrible about her on that.
No, just not
thing.
not healthy. Like,
Yeah, but also I think she might have dyed her hair black, which she's probably makes her look a bit like she's dead anyway. You know.
well, no, she used to have dark hair. If you look at the
she
older
did, didn't
pictures
she?
of her before she cut her hair short, she used to have long dark hair.
That's true. In that case, then she looks like she's not well. You know, she's got like dark rings under her eyes and everything. But that might be what she wants to look like. So who am I to judge?
Well, it's difficult, like rebranding yourself, then rebranding your channel. Then, but yeah, she, from what little I saw of her, she does not look well.
Yeah,
Well,
I think she's
when
definitely.
you're that unhappy all the time, it affects you physically.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, concentrating on negative things all the time. Probably not that helpful.
I mean, we talk about serious things and negative things, but we also laugh a lot, and I think that makes a huge difference. you know,
I've
having
just seen
laughter.
the comment about witness protection. Aha! Now it all makes sense. I don't know. I maybe don't put it on. I don't know. Does she want you to put that on the screen?
It's a pity.
Thank you, anyone who helped Amy. I have a baby blanket almost done to send you. So
Well, I was
getting
saying,
there.
I was saying a little bit before we went live, not to rehash Joanne's hate. I will rehash Joanne's hate. Like
Please do.
walking around in there saying y'all deserve to go under. But yeah, they had some Patton's wool in their clearance bin, and it was like $7 in a clearance bin.
That's not
Awful.
clearance.
$7
No,
in a clearance bin.
Yeah, and there wasn't a space for it on the shelf anymore because I looked around. I'm like, you totally getting rid of this, or are you just playing with me here?
What
yeah,
was it? Which
It was the Patton's worsted 100% wool, and they also got rid of their fisherman's wool, and they haven't had anything.
That's been a long time, though.
all.
I think.
Wow.
Well,
I know our
those are
other
the
friend
two
Liz has been.
staples.
I know our other friend Liz has been looking for fisherman's wool not too long ago.
But yeah, the highest wool content. Not that I like Doug, but you get a general sense of what's at Joann's. You know, chenille, acrylic, and then they have some woolly stuff. So the highest wool content of anything in there is 20%. But
Man.
Well, I was looking at their hand dyed online. I was looking at their hand dyed online, and on their fingering weight they have a yardage, but on their DK there's no yardage in the ad at all. Not under. I couldn't find it anywhere. And it's like, how are you people supposed to buy your product if they don't know how many yards are in it?
Right.
Like,
It's like on Temu, they measure the skein, so it'll say this skein is 5.5 inches by 2.5 inches. I'm like, well, that's great, but how much is in it? You know, silly.
Oh wait, I lied. I just remembered. Sorry that when I was looking
There's
at
no
Joanne.
Shark Week.
Oh, never.
Was that the
No,
last?
but they had
Just gonna
these
say.
little tiny wool balls for like $7.50, and it was the texture was really crap too. It was you know, when it's like those little strands of cotton, and then they do it into a bigger yarn. You know,
yeah.
where it's
they
like
they don't fly it.
Yeah, it's almost like the pearlized cotton, and then they have those, and then they ply bigger, and it's just it's really splitty and awful. Like that was the texture of this. I'm like, that looks cheap. It doesn't. That's not gonna. I don't want that. And then again, tiny ball of yarn.
I don't
But
know.
anyways,
I think, you know, for as popular as knitting is, it's surprising how these stores are. But I don't think it's so much the knitting. I think they're just in trouble, period. But we notice more the knitting sections and the fabric sections than anything else, because that's what we tend to look at.
Well, it looks like the big box stores are all downsizing all of their yarn. I haven't been, Michael's and Joanne for a while, but I hear what people are saying. In my experience, Hobby Lobby, we're down to 1.5 aisles of yarn.
I think we need to go out and panic buy.
okay.
Well, I'm wondering
if
if
the yarn's drying up, we need to get it in now before we run out.
I know. I bought a couple of skeins of Pattons. Even there was more there, but I'm like, this is again, it's not really a deal. It's not really a deal for $7 for a skein of Pattons.
I'm wondering if they just bought so much stock during the pandemic and people aren't buying it as much. Like I know, like hotel rentals, like a lot of people, I read an article where bought second homes, vacation homes to rent out after the pandemic because so many people couldn't go. But now nobody's going on vacation and renting them, so they're getting foreclosed on because they can't afford to pay the mortgages since they don't have renters. So I don't know.
Well, Airbnb are so ridiculous that you might as well just stay in a hotel.
Yeah.
because you don't have all the crazy fees. You don't have somebody, charging you for cleaning fees and all this nightmare stuff. You can just go to a hotel and not worry about it. And people aren't going anywhere.
Senko, what kind of opal issues do you have?
What's
Or
wrong
has the
with
supply
opal?
run out?
What's wrong with opal?
I love opal.
Yeah.
I know
Cat's not buying it.
SimplyStockYarn.com has opal. They have a lot of the different opal yarns.
Wool Warehouse sells it as well. $5.99 shipping to
Mhm.
America. I keep saying that. I don't work for Wool
Like you're
Warehouse.
I was going to say, you're getting a kickback.
I think.
You never
Who
know,
likes
though.
their
If they see
product?
me keep, plugging them, they
Oh.
might sponsor me.
See,
Oh, buying too much.
buying too much.
That's what her issue is.
Oh, okay.
Oh, my only personality faults are just working too hard and being too awesome. The problem with this yarn is just I have so much of it.
Yeah, you're right, Emily. A lot of us would pick the groceries over the yarn.
Very true.
Yeah. We have to.
Especially
Why?
opal
That's
yarn
why-
lasts forever. Opal socks.
They
I
have
understand.
opal.
They do a DK. They do a
Yeah,
sport
they-
and
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's
They
All in
last
sock.
wear really well.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
they're
fun.
heavy sock yarn.
Yeah, it's a great workhorse yarn.
It's worth it. Yeah.
That's why it's good to have stash, because then you
Mm-hmm.
can still do stuff.
Oh
I did
my
agree
God.
with some people on Craftsnark, which surprised me because usually I disagree with most of what they say.
I did
But I
today
guess-
too. What were you?
Was it the
Well,
woman
that
who
was it.
posted and complaining in Michael's because they didn't have a bright green yarn?
Yes.
So that
Yes.
they should give her a gift card?
Yes.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? You can't find a yarn color you want, so it's Michael's fault.
And they need to give you reparations.
Yeah.
What do you do? Every
Yeah,
once
we
in a
know
while they get
we know you
something
will, Tab. But maybe not because you knit fast, so
That's true.
you might get it done.
Yeah, she's got a lot. I've got a lot. I don't know how much I've got. I don't think it's
Oh,
worth as much.
If you need yarn this month, Chicken Lady Fiber Arts is donating 5% to let them live. And if you're on her
Nice.
mailing list, there was an email from her today, I believe. And also there's a PIK code too.
There is.
So
Are you going to say it then, Anna, or did you change your mind?
Oh,
Um,
sorry. I mean,
I was waiting for Ann to say it.
oh, Mockingbird 20 PIK. That's our code this month for July.
Yeah.
This is hers. This is from her Advent that you did the shelf
Yep.
for, Liz.
The Rydell colorway, I think.
Yes.
Mhm.
Sorry, I'm winding yarn because I'm stuck. I have to pull apart a hat because I ran out of black yarn and I need to swap in another black yarn. And I don't think this is quite finished yet. I have to read the pattern further, but I have a sweater.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
Yay.
Oh, it's your crochet one. Is it your hexagon one or is it the square one?
It's squared up, I think is what it's called.
Mhm.
But it's
Yay.
Because aren't you making two of those then? You've got another one, haven't you, on the go?
not
Or
yet.
I dreamed that. I might have dreamt that.
Might have dreamt that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Very nice. So what else have you got to do to it? Is it done or have you just got to edge it or anything?
I have to read the instructions further. I think there's an edge on it, but I'm not quite sure how it is. But yeah, don't look at the back seam too closely because one side was longer than the other, but I don't think you can tell on camera. So it's
I
fine.
think, Liz, I
Fine.
think you need to make them big so we can all see that
Oh,
error
sorry.
she's made. In the... Let's look really closely.
Don't look. Don't
me.
look.
Can you tell
Not
the
me,
error? I can tell it looking through it, but
Oh, I can see it a mile away.
just
It's
right there.
Fine. No one's going to notice in that stitch with the yarn. Yarn's not a solid, so it's not even showing up.
No one's going to see that.
No, but there, yeah, the
I didn't
one
even
side.
see it, so I don't know what you.
Well,
what
that's
you were.
good because one coat, you've seen the two halves together. One side was longer than the other, so I had to kind of
Fudge it up a bit.
finagle that
Yeah.
one.
Can I say how impressed I am with you? Because not too long ago, I remember you saying you weren't a crocheter, and now you've done your first sweater. So
That's
I'm
true,
very
but I
impressed.
only make one thing. I can only do Granny Stitch. So
Nah.
Honestly,
Thank
that's the hardest stitch, I think. If you can do that, you can do everything else.
You will be able to do the other
Look at
stitches.
Teresa's face. She's looking at me weird, like,
No, you can. No, you can do anything.
see, it's a pity Caro can't make it because she's been doing Tunisian.
Oh, yes.
No.
Very excited about it.
Well, I'm still doing
Cable stitch.
Tunisian. I'm still working. Oh, they just sort me needles out. Hold on.
When you're sending me my tension square to do,
Oh, well, I had to rip it out again and use it because I've used more yarn than I thought I was going to. So I'll do another one for you at some point with a different colour. Can't see which way round it is now. Hold on. Okay, this is the back. So I'm working on the edgings now. So I've done the, I don't know if you can see, I've done the collar. And I'm working on the arm bit now.
Very
right.
pretty.
And then on the front, obviously it's not
It's a nice
finished
effect,
yet,
isn't it?
but
Very.
it's, I'm quite pleased with it. So
It's
I'm
lovely, yeah.
hoping I've not sort of jumped the gun because initially I wasn't going to seam the shoulders until I got her to try it on. But then I realised if she saw it without the edging around the arms, she would think it was going to be too narrow. So I thought, no, I'm going to do it. And if worse comes to the worst, I'll just have to rip that out again. But I think it's going to be okay.
Cinco, I don't know. We
Looks
get
good.
windy here all the time. I don't know. Anne, you're probably closer to Oklahoma. Is it unusually windy where you are this year?
When the wind comes sweeping down the plains, it's always windy in South Dakota.
That's the sequel to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't. We're windy today, but it's normal for us. So I don't know. There, I think I found my drop stitch. Which is a problem because it was part of a cable.
Not good.
Nope, not good.
I was an epic fail at the sweaty sweater because I did not seam my sweater. I could not.
Well, I was an epic fail because I did it and finished it and didn't post about it.
That's even worse.
So I don't know. I don't know what I can do about that.
Oh, that's even worse. Yeah, you had magazine brain.
I think I did show
That's
it on a
true.
few shows, didn't I? Finished. I think I did show it somewhere. So
Probably. You showed it. You posted it in our chat, I think.
did I?
Maybe. I don't know.
Can't remember.
I think you did because that's how I knew it was done.
Stuff. Oh, what about the Trump news today?
Supreme Court.
Oh, with the Supreme
Yeah.
Court?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It all goes
people
back to
are
the
losing
lower
their
courts,
minds.
and then the lower courts will decide if what he did was considered official actions or not, and then they'll go from there and say it's not, and then we'll have an issue. But
Yeah, right. So they'll drag it on as long as
through November, so it won't get back before then.
The death threats are a little concerning.
Yeah. Did you see the BBC 4 guy said Biden should murder Trump?
What?
Yeah.
Wow.
Free speech.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
almost like Neil Tennant trying to get that Kemi or whatever her name is disappeared. Wasn't that the word he used?
Yeah.
David Tennant.
Who did I say? Neil Tennant. I always get them mixed up.
Yeah.
Pet Shop Boys and
Well-
Doctor Who.
Oh,
That's so annoying because
silly man.
the virtue signaling is just over the top because he lives a privileged life and he can get away with saying whatever he wants, and he doesn't have to live with the consequences where other people who get those death threats might actually get killed.
Yeah.
So
Oh, and Klaus
They're all on his
Schwab's
side,
in
them
trouble,
sorts of
isn't it?
people.
I saw that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those people are not suicidal either.
and Orban is now head of the EU. It's his turn. and they're not happy about that at all.
Well, Le Pen has won the first round in the French elections. They have a strange election system, though. I don't really understand it. So,
See, I was just about to ask you because I know that they have 2 rounds of voting, but I'm like, is the second round if they don't get enough in the first round, or
is it like do they knock the lowest one out? So the one that has the lowest votes gets taken out.
Yeah,
so then,
it's
so say there
like...
were 4, then there's 2 or 3, and then I think, but I can't say. If we need we've got a French knitter friend, haven't we? And I can't think of her name at the top of my head. Is she
Miss Happy
Miss Happy
Rose.
Rose.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need her to tell us.
Haven't spoken to her in ages.
Yeah, I haven't since I asked her to translate something for me. That was a while back. Oh, and obviously we've got the big UK vote on Thursday.
Yep. Very excited for your.
Yeah, you have a
Election
reform
watch.
candidate. That's awesome.
Well, I got my. I was in bed this morning and I heard this massive thud through the letterbox. So I know you guys don't have letterboxes, but our mail comes through our front door, doesn't it, Annie?
Yeah.
And I
Some
thought,
people do.
one of my parcels has arrived because it was that heavy. Anyway, when I went to the door, it was just all of the election bump, all put together.
All together?
Yeah.
Oh,
So obviously they're paying the
yeah.
posties to deliver them now.
Yeah.
And the Labour candidate sent me. Actually, I better check. I'm not showing my address.
Did you get a personal letter off them? I did.
Yeah, it's like
Won't make any difference.
with Keir Starmer's face on the top of it.
See,
One
and
of-
I got a letter from Turning Point USA today. So whoever gave them my address, I'm after you because I do not want the begging and groveling. But that envelope too, if that were to hit the floor, would be a thunk.
This was my favourite one. I'm not voting for this person because
Of the Workers' Party.
their whole thing is about Gaza.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
right.
read one.
I'm sorry, but this is a British election, not an Israeli or a Palestinian election. And it doesn't matter who gets in Salford, where I am. The Salford MP is not going to be able to stop any problems in Israel.
Right.
No.
Can the Salford MP even do a motion or anything of any value?
Well, they can raise it, can't they? They can raise it in Parliament so that Parliament sit around and discuss it and shout at each other. But that's it. That's the extent of their power.
Right.
But they get to vote if there's ever a proper thing come up in Parliament. But yeah. But this is the Workers' Party, GB, but it's actually the Islamic Party, because this is all the Muslims used to vote Labour, but this time around they'll be voting for anybody who's standing for this party.
Yeah, and
So-
everybody will do what they want.
Yeah.
It's not compulsory. Someone's asking if it's compulsory to vote. It isn't.
No, and we have
Yeah.
a really low turnout, don't we? Generally, but I think this time,
Yeah,
I
we
think
might
it's
have
going to be a record turnout.
I think it will be.
I think
Good.
Nigel is going to do really well. I don't think he's going to win, but I think he's going to do really well. Labour are going to win, sadly. Although it could be a bit of a hung parliament where Labour have to try and get other parties to join them.
I was about to say, if all of the Muslims are going Workers' Party, that might split the vote a bit.
Well, I think the thing with this party, there aren't that many candidates really, and it'll be very it'll be the areas that are
It's
very
only certain
Islamic.
areas, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, so places like Oldham, where Annie's from, there'll be a candidate there definitely.
Yeah.
And London will have lots of candidates. But yeah, so I'm kind of a bit nervous about it actually.
Something went on in Bury as well, didn't it?
In Birmingham today, was it?
Bury, Hustings in Bury,
Oh,
which is
God, wouldn't
next, more or
surprise
less
me.
next to Oldham, isn't it? It's not that far.
well, the interesting thing is where the candidates have got high Muslim populations, they always have police on the voting, on the doors of the voting places, but they don't anywhere else. So there's definitely something odd about it. Sorry, Anna, you were going to say something. I talked over you then.
No, it's all right. Well, they were having a Jewish guy that was getting shouted at, and they was telling him to leave. But he was an old man, and he was just.
Hey, Cheryl.
I don't
It was
understand why they
it was
can't
ridiculous.
see.
They don't
You know.
understand the
No.
the methods and
Yeah.
the law around how it's supposed to be democratic.
It's like the Just Stop Oil people and people like that who go and try to destroy, works of art or whatever. Like that's going to endear people to you. Like really, that's the last thing that's going to make people want to support their cause. I don't get the mindset.
People that block the roadways and won't let you drive.
Yeah,
It's not helping.
like that's going to make people happy.
Yeah. Someone's going to die in those traffic things because someone's
have.
going to be so angry.
There's
they're
been
just
people
run
who've
them over.
died already who couldn't get ambulances through.
Oh yeah, but what I mean though is that one of the protesters will get run over, and that'll be awful because you can guarantee that whoever is the person that runs them over will end up
Will
in
be
prison.
charged. Yep.
Yeah,
Well, I do like how in your country the motorist will just drag the protesters off the road. Where here they stand around and the police will do nothing, but in England they just get
Have
out
you
of
seen
their
that one with
cars
the
and drag
bus?
them off the road and keep
It's
going.
have you seen the bus with that big coach where they're literally edging forward and the protesters are going stop, and they're like they're not running them over, but they're basically pushing them. Just
push
moving.
them with your car.
And you can see where the driver is. There's all these people laughing behind the coach, sat in the front seat.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
Oh, I
don't
saw
know.
another thing today, and I thought, oh, here we go. Maggot milk.
No, thank
Bill
you.
Gates is promoting maggot milk to
He
replace
is a
cow
maggot.
milk.
Well, he can
I
drink
thought it
milk
was a
because
joke.
I'm
Sounds
not.
so good. How could you say no?
Well,
there
I
a chocolate
immediately
version?
want to try it.
That's
I mean,
why don't
I'd like-
have milk.
How are they going to even milk those cows? What are they going to do?
Well,
So,
now that you've turned my stomach, Neil, thanks.
Thanks. Yeah.
Appreciate
Who's
it.
going to do the cross stitch? Do you like your cross stitch, Anne?
I think
I
they're
do.
adorable.
In the magazine, they're brilliant, aren't they?
I think they were very sweet.
had a haircut, and it was like, no! Not because I didn't like a haircut, but it's because Therese knows I'd done that cross stitch a long time ago. I can't remember when it was I did it now, but it's
Oh.
quite a few months ago, wasn't it?
March, maybe.
Yeah.
Right.
Maybe in March.
And I'd done Annie's as well at the same time. I did Annie's
Mhm.
then as well.
Ah.
So Annie didn't even know, and I was thinking, she's not said anything. She's really upset. I thought
Was
she's
it-
like, I thought she's just not mentioned it, and I knew I'd sent her the magazine as well.
Yeah, but it was in the last one, was it not?
You people need to stop cutting
It was
your
only
hair.
in the last one.
Sorry,
Sorry.
say that again, Annie. What was that?
Was it only in the
Sorry.
last one?
This
last
one that's just been
magazine, it was
released was the first time I've done, a person. Last time I think it was.
No, I mean when you do a preview. It was in the last preview, and I just
Oh, it
haven't
was
looked
in?
all the way through it. It's in.
Yeah, it's in
Yeah,
that
I've
as
seen
well.
it
Yeah,
now, but no, I
Yeah.
haven't seen it at all.
Oh, here you go.
It shows Annie doesn't read the magazine well enough.
This might be
Even
a
the one
job for
she's in.
Morgan.
I read the first preview, and then there was another preview, and I read that, and then there was about a third one, and I thought, well, I've seen this,
Yeah, ready enough for this
and
now.
I hadn't seen it all. Oliver said it looked like me.
Hey, BS, who's made us live this time. Yay. Here's a job for Morgan.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Wow.
Definitely not for Joe Bob. 'Cause
Oh, were they milking the venom out of?
the
I've seen that
spiders,
with,
yeah.
with snakes where they put it
Well,
on a glass and then squeeze.
You can
the
do it
head.
with venomous spiders too, I guess.
Wow.
I mean,
You can
somebody
do it.
can. I can't, but not, someone might. So,
I'm gonna have to
Hopefully
look up
they'll
how
be-
they do it with the maggots now, though. I need to know how they do it.
no,
I suspect
know
they just blitz them up in a blender, and
They
that's
Okay.
the
grind them up. Yeah.
Yeah.
if you do need to look it up, please don't share it with us.
Like
I'm
so
putting
many
it in
wanna
next
see.
issue.
Um,
A recipe.
that-
Yay.
If Lynn's watching, that's a really cool name for a yarn, Lynn. A yarn colour, maggot milk.
please no.
No.
No, that's not a colorway. I don't think anybody's. I mean, the colorway may be pretty, but nobody's going to buy yarn that's called maggot milk.
No.
They might. Bill Gates might.
Uh, Bill Gates is in another world.
Mm,
I can't understand how a guy who developed computers and computer programming and such, how is he such an expert on medical stuff?
Because he says he is, and he has enough money that people agree with him.
because he invented computer viruses. So he knows all about viruses.
But technically, they stole Windows from Apple, That's how Apple had developed their own version of Windows, and they showed it to Microsoft, and Microsoft stole it. So that's how Windows came about.
Not surprised.
Oh, gross. Maggot milk with cricket flour. Ew.
Yum.
What are we making? Pancakes or something? That's just
Do you have
Maybe if you're a snake.
Farley's Rusks in America?
what?
Have you ever
We
heard
have
of
what?
Farley's Rusks?
Baby rusks. It's like a
Baby
hard
rusk.
baby
Yeah.
biscuit.
Well, that's what I
No.
imagine cricket flour and maggot milk mixed together would be like.
Yeah.
Would it? It'd kind of like. Ugh.
No.
Tasteless like cardboard.
I don't know.
I hope he eats it and drinks it.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't, because I always see him talking about him eating in all these fancy restaurants and places.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's not drinking that stuff.
Yeah,
That's
you
just
don't
real-
maintain the moves on maggot milk.
No.
It might be delicious.
Well, you get some and try it and let us know.
It doesn't matter. Mm.
There's
I
some
will
things
not.
I don't need to know the flavor of, and that is one of them. Just saying.
Ugh.
So, has everybody got their Shark Week viewing ready to go?
Not yet. Although there was an archaeological TV program on tonight that I saw advertised, so I thought, oh, wrong week. I could have watched that. I might watch Indiana Jones actually. If I can find it on one of the channel on the preview things, whatever you call them. Not
Might be on Pluto.
Netflix or whatever.
Just
Sorry,
like you don't advertise for Wool Warehouse, I don't advertise for Pluto. Free TV on the app. Just watch the commercials.
All right.
I don't know whether we get Pluto. Do we get
I
Pluto?
don't know if we do or not.
Don't think we do.
There's a lot of good free Tubi and Pluto, and I don't even know. There's a bunch of them though. You can find
should
all
be
kinds of old
something.
stuff.
Yeah. There's a lot of
So
fun
there's
old
ads.
shows.
There's ads on YouTube. So
The other thing that I actually agreed with the Craftsmart people is they were complaining about seeing that Taylor Swift crochet dress.
Oh yeah.
Ugh, me
I
too.
dislike it as well. So the fact they disliked it, I had to agree with them with that.
You said the name.
I know, but I only said
I
it
thought
once.
we'd agreed.
So,
What, to never say Taylor
Taylor
Swift?
Yes.
Swift again.
It's kind of like Beetlejuice.
gee, thanks,
Yeah.
Neil.
Do it.
Yes,
You
she
said
might
it
show
first,
up.
Liz.
I know, but I only said it once. If you keep
I didn't
saying it,
know
she might
that-
appear.
How about the
There's a
rule?
moratorium on her. Yeah.
Did I
Well,
tell you
yeah,
that me and my friend listened to her album like
He's not in this
10
sports
seconds of
ball
each song?
Oh, wow.
thing.
Did I te- but we started to predict it. So we were looking at the song title, and then I was singing what I think it would be. And I'm not joking. More often than not, I was right because it is so bland and crap. You know, you just put any old little tune to the title, and it'll be right. Sorry to the Swifties out there. I'm sure there's a
I was
few.
laughing. Well, not laughing because ESPN is giving Prince Harry the Pat Tillman
Oh
Award,
yeah.
which is annoying.
It
But
is.
I was watching. It was a British commentator who was talking about it. This one lawyer that I watch, and he referred to Tillman as gave up a professional career as a footballer. And I wanted to tell him we don't call them that. We call them
No.
football players. Footballer is something entirely different in a different sport.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess there's a 30,000 signature petition going against him not getting the award, and Pat Tillman's
We
mom is
shouldn't
really
get it.
pissed.
Oh, you've got a new
Look, it's
Charlie
Charlie.
20.
Oh, you got
I've
a
got a
fancy
few.
one.
Oh, you've
Three
got a few, have you?
customers.
Ooh.
3 customers paid me with them before I realised I had them.
Now, are they the
Drinks are on
plastic
Annie.
money? Are they plastic money, like Canadian money?
Yeah, it can go
Yeah.
through the washing machine and come out okay.
So sorry. Speaking of
Sorry.
Taylor Swift and the royal family, okay, I bet
That's
old
two.
Megan is steaming, absolutely
'cause of the Taylor
steaming
Swift concert, yeah, with
after
Prince
Taylor
William.
Swift took the picture with William and the kids.
Well, they know each other.
Apparently, Megan has asked Taylor to be on her podcast,
And
the
she
one
turned
that
her
she
down.
doesn't really
Yeah.
do and only does with people who just tell each other how wonderful they are and say absolutely nothing. And it's like, oh, I want you to be on my podcast. Haha. No.
Yeah, well, I guess a few years ago there was a
Well, that's
charity
cool.
thing at Kensington Palace where Taylor Swift was there as well as Bon
That's
Jovi.
3. There she is.
Sorry, my bad. But this isn't a bad thing. But I guess it was because it's charity, and Bon Jovi was singing, and she convinced Prince William to go up and sing with her with Bon Jovi on the stage, and they've been friends ever since. And from what I saw, she's the one who planned the meeting with them at the concert. She asked them to come meet with her ahead of the concert. So
an old T Swift would be of an age when she'd remember when Prince William was a heartthrob, when he still had hair.
yeah, yeah.
What are
but
you
know
saying,
what?
Anne?
Hey, he's still way better looking than his brother.
Oh, poor.
The grumpy ginger. And I love gingers because I have family members who are ginger, but he is not the best. He is not the best example out there. And just cracks
Dissing
me up,
our
the two of
royal
them.
family. How dare you, insurrectionist?
Well, I'm just wondering what happened to Harry and Meghan's kids. I mean, they were a photo opportunity, and then it was, oh, no, don't pay attention to them. Again, the don't pay attention to us tour. No, we have to hide them from the press. It's like, well, where are they? With the nanny, I assume, when you're jet
Did they have to
setting.
give them back? Because didn't they just borrow them? Because she was never pregnant, was she? Let's face it.
I think she
No.
was.
I guess the new thing is because of the Pat Tillman thing, his mom speaking out against Prince Harry getting the award, saying, he's rich and there's a lot of other people and organizations that do good things that could use the money for the award.
Mhm.
And I guess their online internet fans have gone after Pat Tillman's mom
Wow.
and sending her nasty messages. And that she's just jealous. Well, yes, she might be jealous because Prince
She's
Harry's kid is still
jealous?
alive and hers isn't. But that probably has nothing to do with the fact that, she thinks he doesn't deserve the award in her son's name. And she's like, I don't know, entitled to an opinion. It's America. But I don't know. From what I saw online, they took all mention of him off of ESPN's website. So maybe they'll rethink it.
ESPN is trash anymore.
It is. All programmed TV is anymore.
Yeah. But it's hardly about sports anymore. Now it's all social justice, These poor
Yeah.
athletes are so oppressed.
Did I missed the beginning of the England game, Annie? Did they
Yeah.
take the knee again?
I don't know. I didn't see the beginning.
Because Gareth
mean-
Southgate, he's the manager of the England team. He makes them
Oh, I
take the
did.
knee at the beginning.
What?
No, we
Usually.
missed it. No, we missed it, yeah.
Yeah, because I missed the beginning.
Because we thought I said it started at 6, so we weren't watching it. And then I realised that everywhere outside had gone very quiet.
Yeah.
I bet the football's on.
Or the bombs dropped, one or the other.
We missed
Hard
the
to tell the
first
difference
15
sometimes.
minutes.
But yeah, it was weird hearing someone refer to Tillman as a footballer. And I'm like, no, he's not. He wasn't.
No, he's not.
But now ESPN's responded.
Well.
See what they've said. They're standing by their choice.
Of course they are.
Trash.
Trash.
Because of the Invictus, even though pretty
It's
much
not-
all that is an excuse for his wife to wear expensive clothes now, since they don't even talk about the athletes anymore.
Mm-mm.
They used to, though. It used to be
They
a
did.
big.
Mhm.
And he's not the one who started it. The palace started it to give him something to do, and his brother and father funded it. But he takes all the credit.
Yeah, I mean, but he used to be more involved before Megan. He used to be more connected with these things.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
there's a
it's
lot
He
of
used
other
to
people.
be more human before her.
And they also figured, they could honor an American, considering it's an American company and an American award. But whatever.
They're trying to make everything international now.
It's another paid award, like most of them are.
They're
They
trying
even
to. I mean,
celebrated
this is
Will Smith at the BET Awards. And here I thought, after the Oscars, he was done for, but I guess not. Oh, they're also making a sequel to I Am Legend now, too. Which I don't understand.
Who cares?
Didn't they all die?
That's why I don't understand. I guess there was an alternate ending in the book or something. I don't know.
Well, I'll tell you what will happen. It'll be a young black girl that survives, and she'll be the new, and she's probably non-binary, and she'll be tough as nails. She'll be faster and quicker than, and stronger than any male protagonist has ever been before.
Another
Not if
gay
J.K.
woman
Rowling
in the
writes the
apocalypse,
screenplay.
where it makes least amount of sense.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to Ryan Kinnell's evaluation of it.
Yes, I'm sure it'll be quite spectacular. Or the Critical Drinkers version. I'm sure he will
Mm-hmm.
give it his all of disgust, because his reviews are fun to watch too.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Az leaving F&T?
I know.
I know.
Sad. But I get
Very
it
sad.
because like Neo and Annie, time differences are hard.
Yeah.
Oh, why is he British?
Yes.
Yes.
I've never watched it, so
#1 nerd show, man.
I know. Gary's been on like Piers Morgan and stuff.
He was on with Glenn Beck.
Yeah.
I've barely got enough time to watch the ones I already watch.
It's true.
There's not
Whole
enough
nother
hours in the day.
Barely have time to watch all our friends.
Mm-hmm.
All of our friends and Star Trek. It's terrible.
Somebody's
Have
on
you
a Star
even
Trek
started
kick
watching
this
it yet?
She hasn't that I know of, but yeah, I have. I've been
But you are.
Star Trek. So
Yes, we got in a lovely discussion the other night about it when I was saying how you were watching it. And we were discussing the different series and which ones we liked or didn't like. So,
oh yeah.
Well, there's a comic, Anne, that you might be interested in. It's a spin-off. It was only done recently, well, I say recently, in the last sort of 15 years, by IDW Publishing. And it's a spin-off from the original series of Star Trek. But there must be a character. Was there some kind of a guy who was some kind of a spy for America in it? He's like an ordinary human person. He's not
well,
in space.
there's no
and he's
real
modern.
America anymore. It's
Well,
like-
they must go back in time in an episode where it's what would have been modern day America in the 60s or whatever it was. And so the spin-off is called Cold War.
Okay, well, I can't say because Anne probably hasn't gotten to that part yet. There is back in time, but I
Yeah,
don't want
there-
to spoil it for her.
Aw, thanks. Well, the thing is that okay, what I used to have DVDs of only the second season, and the other seasons I've seen when they were on TV, but every once in a while I'll be like, dude, I haven't seen this one. Man, there was an episode the other night. It was wild and out there. It was a penal colony, and they were wiping people's brains. And this psychiatrist chick clearly had it on for Kirk. And Kirk was not interested, which is hilarious.
You mean
Crazy
Kirk,
episode.
the father of Starfleet, i.e., George Washington, the father of our country? He slept everywhere. James T. Kirk slept everywhere with every female alien he could.
Hey. Yes, but also no. So there's this place in Iowa, which is the future birthplace of Captain Kirk in Riverside, Iowa, and they have a little plaque there and everything.
What?
And
Captain Kirk will be born here. Is that what he
he
said?
will be born here, yes,
Brilliant.
in 22 something. So yeah, and they also have a restaurant, which is, you know, the conception of Captain Kirk. And they have like a little museum and things. Man, I want to go. Just for the giggle factor, just for the little flags that they have on on light poles down their main street, have his face on them and everything. The little town.
They used to have the Star Trek Cafe here years ago, where the people dressed as the characters, different species, would come around to your tables, and it looked like you were on the ship and everything, and all the drinks were. And when my kids were with us one time, we had a whole conversation with a Klingon and a Ferengi who were just hanging out at our table chatting away.
All in character.
Yeah, but it was fun because the kids thought, you know, they were little and they had watched some of Next Generation, so they kind of recognized the types of characters.
Yeah, I was again watching mainly original Trek, but then I switched forward and watched the first episode of Voyager because I'd watched a lot of Voyager. But it was me sitting there going like, wow, I don't remember what was going on with the whole Bajoran Cardassian war. Like, I know there was one, and I know that it had kind of ended, but I'm like, oh, I need to catch up before getting here. Like, there's a lot.
The Cardassians were in Voyager. What?
Cardassians, not Kardashians. There's
no R,
but not quite, but sort of. Have you ever seen the episode The Omega Glory? It's at the end. It's the end of season 2. It's got the Constitution in it.
Yeah,
that where he explains the Constitution. That's really good monologue.
Trek is fun. I like Trek. And then somebody was saying in the comments, it's like, oh, you know, watch, you know, Star Trek's a bit woke. And I'm just like smiling because me as a small child with Next Generation on the TV, and my mother next to me going, they're doing environmentalism this time, and walking away. I'm like, it's okay. I'm aware.
Well, if you figure Nichelle Nichols took the job because Martin Luther King told her to, as Uhura. She didn't want it because there wasn't a lot of speaking lines. And he told her to take it because she would be the first Black female in a major TV show, and she would be on the bridge. And even if she didn't speak a lot, she'd be seen there. So he talked her into taking the role, and then they expanded what her character did.
Yeah, they kind of, because of the first episodes, they had Yeoman Rand, who was a great character, but she kind of faded out and Uhura faded in.
Yeah.
Neil and I have a joint friend, Trisha, who does amigurumi, and she sells them, and she goes to different Comic Cons and stuff, and she actually got to meet her and gave her an amigurumi of her, which was kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's
What's her
cool.
Her handle is Yankee Rose Designs.
Okay.
And her stuff is amazing.
I've seen it. It's very pretty.
So Neil, now that you've finished your first Tunisian crochet sweater for yourself, when are you going to start a new one?
As soon as
You
I've
have all
finished
that
this
yarn you said.
I think I'm going to keep doing them until I can't do them anymore, and then I go back to knitting. I've got no desire to knit at the moment.
Weird.
Weird.
Same.
So weird.
Same.
And I've also come up with some very, very obvious solutions to the amount of yarn that you use with Tunisian. So I've got my next project. I'm not going to say what it is at the moment, but I'm going to be experimenting with a different way of doing things slightly, which I think is going to be a bit of a winner, I think. Although when I try it, I'll probably realize why nobody else has done it. And then it'll be like, that's fine. Don't work. But I've been looking at steeking as well, because you can actually steek Tunisian crochet. But it's quite complicated. You can do it horizontally really easily. But if you try and do it vertically, you've got to do lots of finicky things that I haven't quite figured it out yet. So that could be interesting as well.
Yeah.
I still need to steek. I've done a steek once knitting. So I might have to do more of those before I try it in Tunisian.
Yeah.
I've never done a steek. I've never done it yet. I mean, I've still got to do that that tank top thing that we were all going to knit that Joe Bob.
Yeah,
She lost him.
none of
She
us are working
ripped
on
hers
that.
out,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Should I have not mentioned it?
I don't. Shauna has stopped working on hers too, I think. So
Oh, has she?
I don't
She
feel
was
bad
doing
about never
really
stopping
well.
mine. She was, but I think she was concerned about the fit. And Teresa and I never started, so
Because
But I
I
do
was
have that
concerned
yarn,
about
so
the
I need
fit.
a-
Yeah.
I need another color work sweater to use that yarn for.
Yeah,
So
we need
I
to
need to
figure
find a
something out
pattern.
then, don't we?
But when it's colder out, not hot, because
Maybe that's what I'll do with my next Tunisian project.
Tunisian.
there you go, Anne. Go to Iowa.
Iowa calls.
Oh,
I gotta
there you
say,
go.
I am
Tabitha's
Just one
tips
shot.
here. I just think of
haven't
it.
done
I
it
just
once.
can try to convince myself it was like a vertical afterthought heel.
Yeah.
So like, it's fine. It'll be fine. I'm just cutting it just like I would if pulling it out if it was an afterthought heel. It'll be fine. But
But you're doing
Yeah.
it millions of times, aren't you, instead of just the once?
yes, but you can cognitive dissonance there, Neil. You don't want to stress when you're doing it.
All I can see is that meme of that dog sitting in a chair. It's fine. Everything's fine. And the whole house
Fine.
is burning down,
Well, depending on the kind of yarn that you use, the people who take the felting needle and go along the side, that's
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fun, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't come undone anywhere that way because it would ladder. Doesn't come undone sideways.
Right. But I wouldn't do it unless I were using non-superwash yarn anyway. Because,
Right.
And that'll
Hmm.
tighten up when you block it. A lot of people will sew a ribbon on the back,
Mhm.
fold it over the ends to secure.
But you know
them.
when you do that crochet edge on it to secure
Yeah.
it. So
Mhm.
say if you were using anything else other than a non-superwash, is that going to hold it? So could you use acrylic and that crochet would still hold it in place or not?
Probably.
I don't know. A lot of people, I've seen a couple people who've done acrylic, and they'll either stitch over it with a sewing machine, do a
Mhm.
seam up,
yeah, you
Ah,
can
okay.
zigzag it.
Mhm.
or hand stitch it with tiny little stitches. But Tabitha says no, and not in
Not.
her experience.
Right.
She failed on the
And-
dude sweater on the cut side.
And Tabitha throws
Or felted
everything
the
in the
dude
washing
sweater on the
machine and the
cut
dryer, doesn't she? Everything goes in there.
Yeah.
So
Gotta go in the dryer.
Hey, that's good to know. I throw blankets in the dryer. That's why I make them out of acrylic, because it's easier,
Mhm.
Yeah.
especially baby
Water
blankets,
blanket.
because you don't want new parents. The last thing they need to worry about is hand washing and laying
It's,
blocking a blanket.
is Southlander then from Skeins? Is that a superwash? Then?
No,
Right. Oh,
no.
it's non-superwash. No, Tabitha's
Mhm.
just saying it's still unraveled. Southlander still unraveled.
Mm.
I think it's how tight the stitches are too. Like if it's a loose knit,
Well,
then
we
Yeah,
all
your
know how
gauge.
loose Tabitha is. Oh, so I'd be all right then, wouldn't I? Nothing would
yeah,
unravel.
Neil's
if I
stitches are
knitted
so tight.
It'd just be
Probably
bulletproof. You cut it
Neil
and like,
could be-
I'm still not moving.
Steels could be
my
silk,
knitting is like
and he would
Captain
stick
America's
it, and it would be
shield.
perfectly fine.
Steel wool. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think if the stitches are bigger, then you might have a problem.
hmm
But if they're like smaller stitches, so. But I don't know. Tabitha's done more of them than I have. I've only did one sample steek thing.
Yeah, I did one, but it was zigzagged.
hmm
Yeah. I did it, and then I was like, I'll do it on a sweater at some point, but I haven't knit one to steek, so eventually. So any other knitting stuff that's interested people? Any new patterns or any of that kind of stuff?
Well,
Not knitting.
I think I'm going to pull apart my mitten.
Oh no.
Oh, you are?
Yeah,
But you were so
because-
excited, though.
I know it's so pretty, but also I don't want to knit a second one.
Fair enough. Always, Tabitha, you are an expert. Come on.
Of course. No, but it is beautiful, but you can't really tell it's a unicorn. I mean, you
Yeah,
can't-
maybe the
Yeah.
contrast.
It's a
But it's
little
still
muddy.
really nice,
Yeah.
though. So why
It is
is that
really
the
pretty.
reason you're going to pull it out? Because you can't see the unicorn well enough.
Well, and also because I have to make another one.
Mhm.
Well,
Well, can't that be your Shark Week task to make the second one?
Or pull the whole thing out.
get up.
Oh,
Let me
no,
hold it.
why?
Have you done the thumb hole?
There's nothing wrong with it at all.
You could turn it sideways and make the thumb a fin and put eyes and stuff on it and make it a shark.
Who
With a
wants
unicorn on
unicorn Shark.
And make it a little stuffed shark with a
Who?
unicorn.
Why?
Camouflage.
Oh,
Could be a narwhal
commented
or whatever
saying
they
it
call
could
them.
be like a Christmas
Oh,
ornament.
narwhal.
Who wants a whole dang mitten as a Christmas ornament? The whole thing. The
Or,
whole
yeah, you
thing
could-
just
like
right
Neil said,
there.
You could turn it into a narwhal and stuff
Yeah.
it and have a little stuffy.
Then I'd just make a narwhal. Oh, I bother with the mitten part at all.
Oh, I think you should make the second one because there's nothing wrong with it. It looks really nice.
Oh.
I
Are you
like
going to do the
things
pattern
that
again
are a
sometime?
little subtle,
or is
so
it
that you
just
can't see.
not one you want to do again?
Oh, it's a beautiful pattern. It's very nice. You have to pay very close attention to it though, because of all the little. I mean, there's like the different muscles and legs, and then there's leaves all around the edge, like the original. But because it's not like like this side, total geometric pattern, very easy to follow. This side, it's like okay, you gotta like count and look and can't be.
You've got a
doing
couple of breaks though there, haven't you? With mindless knitting in between though, haven't you?
Yeah.
Or not? Am I imagining? Oh, actually, no, you're not. You haven't, have you? I thought there were some blank bits, but I don't think there
Not
are.
really.
I vote you should do the second one.
Well, it's been sitting there waiting for me, but I also have to finish my second Memento Mori glove. I did the shooter's mitts, but I didn't do the second glove, and I also have to do my second Batman mitten.
Okay.
So they're stacking up and they're looking at me.
My suggestion is you do either Batman or the Memento Mori. You put this one aside and then you finish it at another date. Or you make it as a gift for somebody later on.
Yes, they are big though. Like I kind of have big mud hooks of hands. So like I'm not sure, and I'm not sure a guy would go for a sparkly blue unicorn mitten. So you
Some
know,
would.
maybe.
Some would.
Last month, maybe.
But
Ours is on Saturday, apparently, our Pride event, which is the first one in our town.
Are you going to go?
Oh, joy.
I might.
Wear your
I might
t-shirt.
just go to see what it's like.
Well, we
think it-
have bloody
think it
two. I
looks
think I
it.
mentioned it last time, didn't I? So we have one in Salford where I live now, which is like why, and then literally 2 miles down the road in the centre of Manchester is 2 miles exactly. Then there's the huge one at the end of August, which lasts for 3 days,
Oh.
and it's just. Meanwhile, every bloody sorry, I'm swearing. Every crossing between here and the centre of Manchester is now a rainbow.
Are they?
wow,
Yeah.
even your roads are gay.
Yeah. But I found out why. It's taken me all this time to find out why they're bothering with why they've got an obsession with the road crossings. And the reason is because when you see, I saw it on Kerry's show the other day, the straight flag is black and white.
Mm-hmm.
So they see our zebra crossings, which are black and white, as being for heterosexuals.
They're so
You mean
offensive.
like their
It
parents?
had to do
Yeah.
with municipality funding.
Sorry, what's that, Anne?
I thought it had to do with there's money to promote diversity, equity, whatever, but specifically municipal money, and that's why.
I don't know about that being the case here. I know we do have a diversity.
I mean, it could
officer
just be a thought contagion, and y'all really like to do the rainbow police thing, so why not your roads? We don't
I do
have
think
rainbow
it's that,
police cards I know of.
Oh, we do.
Miami
we have,
does.
We
You-
have
we do.
rainbows on our police cars. Yeah.
So I've seen one, yeah.
Yeah. And our ambulances.
Oh,
See,
I'd run
we
around
don't in
looking
our
for a
town.
leprchaun.
I think that's a city thing, isn't it? Or specific
Yeah, probably.
places.
Yeah.
But I saw it in Newcastle.
Right. Well, it's coming to Hartlepool, isn't it? So,
Yes, it is. Yeah. I can either go and sticker first, or go down with my camera, or just pretend it's not happening.
well, what could you dress the dogs in to take on the beach to really wind them up?
No, they're not. They're in the town centre, so.
So you'll be all right then. Might
But I could
miss
put the
this.
shark outfits on. So they
They need,
identify as sharks.
They need to have the dog. What the definition of a dog is. They
Yeah.
need little t-shirts wearing dog. You know, adult,
Canine,
canine,
female,
female. Yeah, that's
male or
it.
female. Yeah.
Oh, that'd have to be
First
bitch then,
dogs,
wouldn't it?
they
It'd have
only
to be
go
bitch.
for-
But yeah,
There's a lot of dog pretenders out there, and they've like put an end to that.
Like that Japanese guy who
yeah.
spent thousands of dollars to be a dog. Now he's decided he wants. It's not as great as he thought it would, but he wants to be other animals now.
There's a cat
Have
man
you-
as well, isn't there?
Have you seen Wolf yet? The movie Wolf. You've got to watch it because it's about a treatment center for people that think they're animals, and it is just the weirdest film ever. But there's one guy in it who's brilliant because he says things like, "You think you're a bird? Fly," and makes her sit on the edge of a ledge, and he wants her to jump, and obviously she can't because she knows she's not really a bird. You know, but it's quite cruel, but it's kind of what I would do if I was in that position. I think you're a dog.
So
Could we call them female dogs? Well, they're bitches, aren't they? That's the word for them.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's not an offensive word when you're talking about a female dog.
No.
Right.
So
dogs don't seem to be caught up in the whole gender thing. It doesn't seem they're too busy being dogs.
Some of them,
But
are
people have
non-binary.
to, think of these things for them because
Are they
Speaking of
non-binary
the
when
dogs.
they're post-op?
did you enjoy seeing the dogs in that little video that I did? Annie's
Did we?
dogs.
It's good.
yes,
I love
So-
that video. It's really good.
I had a lot of fun
the
making
dogs
that.
are cute.
They just look so happy. Well, Lottie does, doesn't she? Lottie has a
Lottie
proper
does.
smile.
Lottie's a good model. She always has been. She'll just stand and wait while I take pictures.
Okay, I fixed my cable, which is really annoying because I hate pulling back to fix lace and cables.
Mm.
But you're ripping out again.
No, I fixed it. I've moved on
Oh.
now, but I had to go back like 3 rows to fix the cross of the cable because I dropped a stitch
Sleeve number
and it was
5.
noticeable. Yeah. No, I'm off the sleeve now. I'm doing the back and the body.
It's
Which-
an
Why did I have to
occupier.
have
do.
tall children? Because my daughter wants it longer. Why couldn't she be 5'2" like me? But no. She's not.
I couldn't do anything complicated while I was on the show like this. You know what I mean? I could only
That's
do
why I keep
basics.
stopping because
Yeah.
no, I've discovered though when I'm writing patterns that I'm not putting specific sleeve lengths so much anymore, just telling people to knit until, where they want the cuff to start because
Yeah.
my daughter's arms are 4 inches longer than mine. So, like,
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
which one do I make the normal length?
Well, I think that's
So,
a good thing. I think that's the way to go now because I think all
Yeah.
this, size inclusive stuff, it's time for people to take a bit of, take their own bloody measurements and
Responsibility for their own. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, I'm telling them, knit until 3 to 3.5 inches or 2 to 2.5, whatever, and end on either this row or this row, or if you want a longer sleeve, end on an even row and then start the cuff because people like sleeve lengths. Some people don't like them all the way to their hand because they wear, watches and jewelry, and it gets caught. Or so I find it's just easier.
The problem that people will then say, and this isn't me, I'm not saying this because I would work it out, is they're going to say about the decreases if there are decreases.
Well, no, I put the decreases, but I mean,
see, my personal concern would be like if I was knitting the sweater for somebody else.
Yes.
And if you're like, knit until 3 inches before end of arm length, I'd be like,
yeah, I know. That's the thing.
Can you give me like a standard measurement and then I could sort of guess if I need longer or shorter?
I mean, that's I probably do need to put in a standard and then tell people
and then have them
adjust it.
Worry about how much yarn you need.
Right. Well, I take that into consideration. Not in a Stephen West way. I think I try to be a little bit more accurate, in that regard, because I still have 5.5 skeins left over from my shawlography, I think, or 5 half skeins from that because it didn't use nearly as much as. I don't know. There'll probably be another shawl at some point, or some of them I've used in other things, but he tends to overestimate, which. It's not bad if you're doing shawls if you don't bother to swatch because then you don't have to worry about running out of yarn.
Well, it's a bit cheeky though, isn't it? To buy. So basically, did you buy 8 skeins or something or 9 skeins?
Well, it was 5 skeins. It was 5 skeins. So I had 5 half skeins, I guess, about left over.
Ah, right, okay.
So really, that's not the only shawl I've done where I've had a lot of Stephen West left over. Like Anne said, you bought 3 skeins for that shawl and you ended up only using 2.
Yeah.
So,
but then the other problem with his stuff is that, and I like his stuff, don't get me wrong, but like now one of his recent sweaters didn't do it, but I've noticed a lot of his sweaters he uses way less ease than I would.
Yes.
And you see in his pictures, I think he could use a little more ease in his own sweaters. So that's going to affect how much yarn you're going to use.
Yeah, that's true. This last one wasn't so bad, though.
The last one, it actually fit him well. It wasn't tight.
Well, and it seems his yokes are kind of odd on some of them, too. How they sit. So I'm sure Tabitha has names for them, but.
Well, I'm sure.
I gotta say, okay, even though Shark Week, it's the main event, I'm very excited. I have a shawl. This yarn is beautiful. I'm going to love it, all of that. But I really am sitting here going like, ooh, I can't wait to be free from knit along or project or anything else knitting. But there's like this point of me that's like, over there is the promised land where I can just knit what I like.
That's why it's good that it's a week.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's long. But yeah, and I have a couple of different gifts that I want to make for people too that has a soonish deadline. And I'm like, oh, crud. Like, that's probably not going to happen.
Well, you could give them a unicorn glove.
Yeah, a single unicorn glove.
There.
Well, you could have a unicorn and a Batman glove. You know, it doesn't have to. Who said it had to match?
Totally different yarn weights.
I
The
don't know.
Batman gloves and worsted. The unicorn is in fingering.
You could have the Batman, and then the Memento Mori is more Jason Todd.
I mean,
So it could be a set that way.
you really only need the trigger finger on one hand. So
Well, I'm seriously
True.
thinking, because I'm not a lover of sock knitting. I know that's blasphemy, but it's the second sock thing, and I'm just thinking from now on, I might just make one sock of every color and just don't care, you know, and just wear whichever ones.
I do them at the same time, but not two at a time.
Yeah,
I knit
I've
like the
tried- I do
toe, and then I
try
knit the
to-
other toe, and then I knit part of the foot, and I knit the other foot, and then I knit the heel and the heel. And so that way, when you go to knit the cuff, you knit the cuff, and all you have left is a cuff on the other one, and then you're done.
see,
And
I have
so, but it's not like two at a time where they tangle and all that. So
See.
you just have them on two separate needles.
here. I actually have this at my feet to show, but this is the last of the Van Gogh sock pairs that I have.
Ooh, the
Right.
Van Gogh challenge.
I can do that BS, but I can only wear the heel flap and gusset or a Fleagle heel. If I do a afterthought heel or one of them, it just won't fit.
Doesn't fit.
Yeah. And the heel is actually the best bit. The heel and the toe is the most fun part to be knitting. So it's the boring bit I have to do with the leg of it.
That's why I'm doing shorty set.
Yeah, I have a friend who is quite petite and likes to wear shorty socks. So I have the leftover of the Van Gogh yarn. So I was sitting there thinking, like, well, I could just like knit her a bunch of very short socks. I'm like, oh, but I want them to match, which is why I did those one at a time instead of two at a time like I normally do. I'm like, but does it matter? Do we have to be that guy? I don't think anyone made a law. I think I could just do it.
I think you should deliberately make them not match.
I
Just
think they're
like-
going to be in a shoe, so nobody's going to see your care.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, here you go, Neil.
You can do a ribbed heel with a cut in heel. Oh, okay. You'll have to. Oh, I see. So if you do a standard short row, you do it ribbed, so it stretches. Is that what she means by that? Yeah, Fleagle is my go-to actually, because I find it the easiest one to do without having to look it up. You know, you can it's all very intuitive, I think. She's saying, yeah, if you do a ribbed heel, it stretches.
I'm trying to think, is Fleagle the one where it's like a V at the back of the heel?
Yeah, so it doesn't. The sock ends up being slightly. What's the word? Not acute. It's less sharp of an angle. So you know where other socks are more a bit.
You
the
can,
legs more.
yeah.
Right.
The yes
You can't
says
really
you
do
can
the
also add
contrast
short
heel
rows too.
for
Sorry, Lynn. You had to go there. I'm not putting that on the screen. BS says you can add short rows too to it. Make it.
So
I know.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I know Denise adapts her heels when she knits hers. She adds more of something to make them fit her foot better. I think she does more rows in the heel flap or something. I don't know.
Yeah, something I can't remember. what it is.
Yeah, I think I know what. Yeah. So she got a really high arch.
I
Yeah,
think
she will
so.
have, won't she? Yeah.
Oh, it's
Right now, I just do a short row heel. Oh, go ahead, Ann.
Oh, sorry. No, I was gonna be distracted slightly, and because short rows remind me back again of the sweater that Liz showed at the beginning with the short row heel shoulders. About how many skeins is that? Because now I'm thinking of it.
Here, let me pull up the. Give me a second, and then.
Yeah, sorry, not to.
No, I have
The
it-
Hohe
pattern
sweater?
pulled up. Let's see. Does she have the? That's the one thing with Lovecrafts. It doesn't have the. um,
The yardage on it.
yeah, that's the write-ups. They don't have the best yardage. And of course, it doesn't want to pop up my.
I think I'm going to have to go to bed. I'm a bit tired, really. I was tired
Oh.
before I started.
It's late.
And I'm stuck with my knitting. I can't do any more because I need to look at my pattern on there. My hands are aching.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no!
somebody was saying on one of the shows that I watched that she's been getting elbow. It was Shauna, and funnily enough, I
Oh yeah. She was talking about that.
And there's this exercise that you can do. So whichever arm it is that's hurting, you put that arm underneath and you turn your hands upside down. Like, can you see what I'm doing there?
Yeah.
And then you twist it and hold it for about 30 seconds. And hold and hold and hold, and do that as many times as you can in a day while it's still comfortable to do it. And it completely eases the pain that you might get in your elbow.
Yeah.
So-
Sometimes get pain down on my right arm. I do a lot of unpicking of stitches and things, and I think that's
Well, that's
sets
probably
it.
because when you're
But my
doing
thumbs
your-
are hurting. But I
Okay,
did
let me-
lift. I lifted
Is it
half my
hurting
body weight
there?
last night.
okay.
So-
Now I found
So
it.
there's a bit of gym ache probably as well. Is it what? It's
Okay.
just,
When you say your thumb, is it this bit
It's
of your thumb
between
here? Ah, right.
1,075 and 1,900 yards, depending on the size.
Okay.
On Fruity Knitting, if you watched it, did you see what they do for carpal tunnel? And that might help you.
she did a
Where you
whole thing
lean-
about it, didn't she?
I tried it, and this works as well. So you put your hands on a wall, and sort of so that they press, they go back like
Yeah.
that, and then put your finger on the fleshy bit of your thumb bit there, and pull it back as you press onto the wall, and it completely eases it. I tried it, and it was like, wow, that works.
Mm.
So
Yeah,
I
sleep
could
in
have saved
the.
myself having 2 operations.
Well, get the carpal tunnel
Yeah,
splint
you
too to
no,
sleep
no.
in.
Sorry, say that
You
again,
can
Liz.
get those. You can get a carpal tunnel splint to sleep in.
Yeah, I don't like them though. I had them at the beginning, and I found them really, really annoying.
They are, but you get used to it. And then you
Oh,
just train
no,
yourself to sleep with your hands not curved in.
Yeah, I think it's the knitting and the crocheting that's the problem, though, not not the sleeping.
Ah, probably. But when you're sleeping, people tend to curve their hands in, and it pinches that nerve off. So,
All right.
no, when I had surgery for it, my doctor told me the crochet was actually good for it because it kept the muscles moving
Ah.
and kept it loose.
Who are we to argue with the doctor?
Exactly. And with there being an international yarn shortage, we need to buy more.
Well, Caro's not here to get to impulse
To
buy. so it'd be fair
single-handedly turn the tide.
I know.
I
We're
don't
so
think there's a
bad because we
shortage.
bring
I
up
think
things to her. We bring up the
everybody's
things
stashing it.
here, and then she buys, and because yeah,
Oh, I have
Fair enough.
an extra bit of info about this yarn that we've been talking about the last few weeks. The soft yarn. My complaint about it, there's one complaint. Now that this is my 3rd cake of it that I'm using, is every single one of them so far. This one hasn't yet, but the other 2 had a knot in them, where it's broken off. But not a huge deal, but one of them, it wasn't in the same colour. So it completely messed up.
I've had that with
scheme.
mandala before.
Yeah. So I don't know whether they
Yeah.
all will have a knot in them or not. So something to be aware of.
Mm.
Could use my beard for yarn. Well, it dye well. You could dye it easily enough, I think.
Would it? What type of wool is it? Is it all wool or is it?
What, my beard?
No, I meant the yarn.
Oh no, it's cotton and acrylic.
Oh, okay.
Not talking about dyeing that. Talking about.
Now,
You should try your beard.
Well, no, I
what
did
colour
didn't I?
would you do?
during lockdown. I dyed it blue, like a really pale blue, and I really
oh
liked
yeah,
it.
you
Everyone
showed
else
us a
thought
picture
it,
once.
Everyone else thought I looked like a dick, but I thought it looked great. But luckily, we weren't going anywhere, so it didn't matter. So
No. No.
Exactly. So, but all right.
Right, I'm gonna go. Bye bye.
Good night.
Thanks for
See you
having
again.
me.
Good night, Annie.
Bye.
Thank
Good night,
you.
Annie.
Bye.
Oh, tired. It's been a long weekend. Has
Yeah.
anyone used Skeins possum yarn? Yes, I've used the Stockmatician. Yeah, me too.
It's nice,
It's very
nice
soft.
Awesome. It's
and
lovely.
its stitch
It's
definition
not
is
American
very
possum.
nice. No, not like not an American badger either.
Yeah.
But
Honey badger.
totally different animals. But no, the possum yarn is very nice from Skeins. It's very soft. No, it's not like a merino. Neil, how would you describe it?
It's more like mixing something with a mohair, isn't it? Because there's a bit of fluff to it, and sometimes it does shed a little bit, not a huge amount, but it
It's
did.
very fine and very soft.
Yeah.
It is. And there's a DK and a fingering. At least there was. I don't know what other ones they have, but it's
Yeah,
very nice.
Skeins, not to encourage more, but Skeins has a couple winter sales coming up because they're
Oh, yeah.
south.
It in.
Oh, they're August.
Oh, bloody Skeins. Ah. I mean, I know I've been saying we need to stock up, but I can't keep buying shit.
We need to get Marie on again. Have Marie
Yes.
join us. She hasn't been
Yeah,
on
I've not
any
spoken to
show
Marie
in a
for a
while.
while.
I know.
Yeah, and she's
DK might
being
join us next
famous.
week, maybe.
Oh, nice.
Who's coming on next week?
I said DK might come next week if she can.
Ah.
Nice.
So, since it's Shark Week and all.
Right.
What are the plans for that? Are you planning any lives or extra
We
lives or
are
anything?
planning lives, so later on we'll conspire, but we haven't actually
Okay.
nailed down the times and stuff. So
Sounds good. Oh yeah, I would.
Yes. She's still talking about the post. I'd do it because I think you'll like it.
Yeah,
I don't
definitely.
think you'll be disappointed with it.
It's supposed to be very, very warm. I only had two skeins, so I just made a hat and a cowl, I think, with mine. But it was very nice. I gave it away as a gift. Yep, Shark Week's coming. First, Neil has to get through his election.
I've got all my homework to do because I need to learn about all the parties. Because there's some parties
Yeah.
like the DUP. I know nothing about them. They're like the
Oh,
Ulster
no.
party.
Lynn's having Anne's internet problems. That's not nice.
Oh no.
When are you and the British doing their thing on the 4th? What time?
11 p.m. here. I don't know what time that'll be for you guys.
Well, what time is for
6
you when we
o'clock.
go on normally?
The same time as when Knitting Wars is on.
Okay,
Because
so
you
it's an
normally
hour
start.
earlier.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's
So
right.
it's at
So
so it'll be
that's
3
5
instead of
Central.
4 for me.
Yeah.
We'll be
I've
in the
not
middle
heard
of eating hot dogs
Pirate
then.
this week.
What, Neil?
I've just said I've not heard of Pirate Tomsky since we arranged it, so he better turn up. Otherwise, I'll be sat there like, okay.
I'm excited. I want to learn and ask all the American questions.
Yeah, can I have
know.
the questions in first, like Biden does?
Sure.
Can you send
Sure.
so I can prepare.
Don't catch a cold.
And at the
Who's your
end, you're like,
country's-
"Rrr."
Who's your country's version of corn pop?
Corn pop. What's corn
Oh
pop?
jeez.
Corn Pop was a bad dude, man.
This is a very bad.
He
dude.
was
Oh, he's a person.
No.
maybe.
Well, he's kind of a figment of somebody's brain.
I thought Corn Pop was a real dude. I thought
Maybe
there
he
was
is.
like,
Well, according to Biden, he's a dude who he knew who he nearly fought with back in the day.
Like a
He's a bad
dog-faced
dude.
pony soldier.
Yeah,
Yes,
something like
because
that.
corn
Yeah.
pop was a bad dude. Something about
somebody
swimming
fact-checked
pool
Corn Pop
and
that there was a Corn Pop.
leg hair, and there was a whole thing.
It was a thing.
So the dog-faced pony soldier, does that relate to anything in real life, or was that just some weird?
Supposedly, it came from a John Wayne movie, but nobody's ever found it,
Oh, right, okay.
as far as I know. Just Joe being Joe. I remember when he ran for president the first time and had to drop out from plagiarism.
Yeah. He's,
Oh,
back
from
in the
Neil
80s.
Kinnock. Yeah,
Back in the
Oh.
80s.
our Labour leader at the time.
Yep. People cared about stuff like that back then.
Well, he did start out the debate by saying he's from Scranton.
Scran.
He lived there, what,
Scranton,
8 years
Pennsylvania.
or some stupid.
Did you
Like-
see the thing where that he and Jill have refinanced their properties like 6
Mhm.
times?
No,
Over the,
like
the last
35 times.
Yeah, 35 times
Total.
over the
Yeah.
last, which is insane for quick cash.
Yeah,
And
which
then
is
when-
kind of
where's
known as
where's
the
all
money
Hunter's money
laundering.
going? Yeah, well, that's why I think he won't drop out. because of
That's
Hunter.
allegedly, when people are watching people for money laundering, one of the things that they take note of is if they refinance their house a lot of times.
Mhm.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Was he doing
Yes,
it in the
like
course of
Michael
his business, though? So will he be exempt from prosecution?
His
Yeah.
business was being senator during most of the time.
He's never had a business. He's never worked.
He's never had a His job has been politics his whole life, pretty much. Yeah, but Sherry's from Pennsylvania, and they don't have a claim over him either.
No.
Nobody wants to claim him anymore, ever. So
Even the
It's,
Democrats don't want him anymore, do they?
Well,
not
Jill
anymore.
does
The
because that's
crying
her
after
meal
the
ticket.
debate was, well, yeah, and she likes flying around on
Did
the
you
fancy
see the
planes.
Vogue magazine that Jill did?
Oh, I know. She looked like a supervillain.
Yes.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
That was
and then
terrible.
it was basically, she was getting off on the power trip of having a police escort and going as fast as you can.
We will decide our future. Who's this we, Jill?
Who's we?
Kind of scary.
Who's we?
Kind of scary.
Yeah. Lynn, I do have a ball winder. I'm actually touching it right now, but I'm just winding it by
Sometimes
hand.
you want to do it yourself.
Sometimes, yeah.
Well, I don't have a project I can currently work on stream, so I might as well.
Yeah, no, I was doing that the other day because I had a skein on my Swift that was very, very tangled, so I had to pull it off and wind it by hand.
Ugh,
So
it's the worst.
that was very therapeutic, but not welcome. That's a couple hours down where you're.
I sometimes wind mine into a ball by hand and then do it on the ball winder because it's easier to do it
Yeah.
from a ball. Because I'd rather have it in a cake, because it doesn't go anywhere. When you
It
have
doesn't
a ball,
roll around. Yeah.
it rolls around, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And even though I've got one of them things, I can't think what you call them now, those plastic round things.
A Swift.
No thing.
No, I forgot what they call them. They're like little,
Plastic-
Oh,
like hamster
A
balls.
yarn condom?
no. Oh, the yarn ball thingies. I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
The plastic with
No,
the little-
The hamster balls.
yeah, they're
yeah.
really good actually. But I
Hmm.
keep losing them. I'll have a project on the go, and then that goes in the box as well when it's naughty, and then I never see it again for a long time. So.
You sure the cats don't take it and just play with it? Because that
Well-
would seem like that would be a very big cat toy right there.
Possibly. Can I show you this that I've had to buy again? So this is a pen that I use when I'm doing my drawings
Oh,
on
right,
the
right,
tablet. The one I have has gone, so I had to buy this one, and they're like
find it.
£80. £80,
Oh.
and I have
Yeah.
no idea where it is. And it's.
I'll tell you where it is. It's under the stove.
Oh, don't.
It's under the stove.
Yeah, where the
Pull your
cats will
stove
cook in
out
that
and-
night.
There'll be all the cat toys and everything you've lost. Under the stove.
Oh. I'll be annoyed now if I
like
find it now this week. I'll be absolutely fuming.
Then you'll have
yeah.
a spare.
Then you'll have a
Yeah.
spare. Like I couldn't find my eye stylus for my iPad, and I bought a
Mhm.
new one. And then if the other one turned up, so now I have a spare.
Yeah, and they're very fine ones, aren't they? They're really thin, aren't they? The iPad ones. So
No,
they're very
not
easy
really.
to use.
They're about
They're like ordinary
Half
pens, aren't they?
yeah.
So-
They're a little bit wider than ordinary pen. Thing is, you have to charge them, or you can charge them on the top of your iPad. But when I'm not using it for typing or drawing, my iPad I use it to watch movies on or do podcasts, and I can't put the pen up there to charge because that's where my clip is on the stand. So I had to buy a separate charger, $10 charger that just charges the pen.
Adam
the
sat
new
there
pen from-
thinking, I just use pencil and paper.
I know. But I got my new e-ink
Same.
tablet today because the one I bought I sent back because I didn't like it, and this one's way, way better. But the nice thing on this one, the batteries are AAA, so you can just pop a new battery in when it goes out. So I have the rechargeable batteries. So, Sherry bought a Swift and Winder. What a mess! I'm not experienced enough with it. Oh no, you can do it. You just have to be.
You can
You
do
just
it.
have to. Watch a couple of videos if you have trouble. I know there's
Mhm.
several on YouTube like who show people how to use them if you're having trouble. Like
Mhm.
when I first had mine, mine was a mess. But once you get the hang of it, it saves you so much time. And hand winding a ball is fine, but sometimes you don't want to waste that time hand winding a ball.
And it's one thing if it's, it's getting worse at 220 or whatever. But fingering weight
Yeah,
takes a bit
fingering
longer.
Or lace.
Yeah.
No one wants to hand wind a lace ball.
I don't really
800
use
yards
lace
of.
that much. Yeah.
No, I have a carousel Swift, but part broke. So it still works, but it only stays at one setting. So unless the skein is that size, it doesn't work.
Mhm.
So I got one of the tabletop Amish Swifts
I used to have one of those.
with the 2 crossbars, and then you can just set the
Oh,
bars in.
They're better, aren't they?
and-
I prefer that.
Yeah, and it was only like $30. So
I
it's
used to have one
much-
of those. Yeah.
It's
I
nicer.
have the arm one. I've never used the accordion one before, but the arm one, I don't know, because if it's not tight enough on there, I don't know if mine just isn't big enough, but
Mhm.
it like slips all over.
Well, mine has it has 4 or 1, 2, 3, 6 different slots on each bar, so you can move the
Mhm.
pieces out to make it
Yardage,
so the
yeah.
skein is tight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's nice.
I have an umbrella Swift right now, but I had to replace all the ties with zip ties
I remember
as
when
they
you did
broke.
that. I have one of those. That's my backup, but it's the
Mhm.
cheap $10 one from Temu
My
or somewhere
one, my
from years ago,
umbrella,
AliExpress.
the screw thing that you put it on the table with, doesn't. It just keeps going round and round
It's
and round.
stripped.
So,
Oh, you stripped
Yeah.
the skirt. Yeah.
so last time I used it, I had to hang it upside down on a radiator and then I was able to do it, but upside down. Well, that obviously was like the best thing ever for the cats. It was like, ooh, what's this? This is a great thing.
Trying to think.
So that never gets used anymore.
There's something you can do for strip screws that you can, like, if you put a piece of wrap plastic around the screw and then put it in there, and then it'll be able to tighten again. It'll catch.
Yeah, I've tried it with what did I try it with? I tried it with a bit of yarn because I thought that might do it, because that works if your interchangeable needles go loose. If you put a tiny bit of fiber in there, that really helps with that.
Yeah.
I
But
think
yeah,
plumber's tape would work too.
Yeah, tape. If you put like plumber's tape or something around a
Plumber's
screw
tape,
and then
yeah.
put it in, it'll catch. Lynn is fancy. She's got a electric ball winder.
Oh, I have one. I have the one
A
you get at
balloon. Yeah, that's the
Michael's.
other thing
Yeah.
too. But I don't know. Hey, we
you can
need.
use a balloon
I never
that a
needed those
balloon?
tools.
or a
Yeah, you put-
ballon.
No, a
Is it a
balloon.
balloon or a ballon?
A balloon. You put the screw in the.
I thought you meant you blew up a balloon and then put your skein of yarn around it, like it
That would
was.
have to be a pretty big balloon, Neil.
Yeah, that's what I had in my head.
One of those big Mylar character balloons.
Yeah.
I might patent that idea. There's an idea for that. There's
Or one of those ones you sit on.
Darth
hoppity
Vader
hop,
is
what's it
holding your
called?
yarn.
Yeah.
yeah, one of those
See,
space
back-
opera types.
Yeah, back in the day when I just crocheted acrylic and cotton blankets, I didn't need yarn Swift or any of that because everything
Right.
came in a center pull skein.
Skein. Yep. If you can find the
Simple
center
time.
pull.
Yeah. Well, I shouldn't say center pull. The pull half out,
Yeah,
the
it's
middle
not.
out, and then you find the end.
Yarn barf. Yeah.
Yes, the yarn barf. Just one of those things you
Where's
just
the
got used to. Oh, chickens. Lynn said she bought it used, so it's not that fancy, but it's fancier than winding by hand.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that is fancier. My little one makes a terrible racket too, but that's what happens when you buy a cheap one.
Well, I've got a cheap
Yeah, I
one
have-
which has lasted me years, and I only found out recently after watching a Bakery Bears episode how to make the guide thing stay still. And I'd been having to hold it while
Moves
was
it.
going
Yeah.
No,
all
you
over the-
click it, you
and you
move
just
it so you
pull it
click
out.
it in.
But there was
Yeah.
never any instructions for it. to
No,
do that.
mine didn't either. The first one I had didn't either
Yeah.
until I had watched a video when I first got it because it was tangling and I couldn't figure out why.
Mhm.
And the guy in the video showed how you popped out the yarn gauge and popped it into, like, oh, that makes so much difference. And I had that
Yeah,
one for
Kate-
about 6 years. And
Kate
then
makes it look so simple. Yeah.
And
But
then
it feels like
died.
it's going to break, doesn't it? Because you do have to give
Yeah.
it a bit of
Mhm.
force.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that one
Mhm.
that one the plastic broke, so I had to replace it. But I always get the one where it's got the cap that goes down so that the yarn can't get caught in between. 'Cause you know, in
Oh
some
gosh,
of them,
yes.
the yarn can get underneath, in between the
Goes
gears,
underneath, and it's just
Mhm.
a mess.
tangles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I always get the kind that just has that solid piece so that the yarn can't go underneath and get it, because cut too many skeins of yarn when that happens before you learn
Mhm.
better. But
I have
the
the
first time I
boy
used an umbrella
electric winder.
Swift,
What's that? Sorry.
first time I used my umbrella Swift years ago, my son asked if I was summoning demons. And it was just spinning around. I'm like, yes, you use yarn to summon demons. That's exactly it. You have an electric winder, Therese?
I do. It's the boy one you get from Michael's for whatever, $40 or I don't even know, 29. And it's fine, but the thing is, it has suction cups on the bottom that's allegedly supposed to keep it on the table. Not so much. So you're on the other side of the room where you're holding the yarn, and it's crawling across the table. It's like, gotta stop
My
and go
my
chase
Swift
it.
is
And
right now, because the card table I have it on is not completely flat. It's got a bend because it folds up, so the middle is a little higher, and so it just kind of slides its way until I put a silicone placemat underneath it, and that kind of holds it. But yeah, I bought my new winder, not realizing that the opening didn't go wide enough to go over the edge of my table that I used to wind on, my kitchen table, because it has a really wide wood beam on the end, and the winder wouldn't go over it, so had to improvise.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
card table.
my ball winder, nothing in this room, the ball winder, like what Neil's talking about, the part where you screw it on, nothing like this table right here. This is like my sewing cutting table. It's one of those 6 foot. I wish I had a 4 foot one. This one's too big. But it's one of those folding tables. And the clamp part does not fit on anything in this room. So I have to do it out in the dining room. So it just stays out there because why haul it back and forth?
The one I would love to get, except it's $300, is the squirrel cage one, where it it's from the Woolery, which is very cool. I did see someone made one out of PVC pipe, but this one, it stands as tall as you do, and you just slide it on the 2 rollers and just wind up. And
my knitting naughty is from PVC pipe.
Yeah, mine. Made my own. Dead easy, isn't it?
I won't buy from the Woolery, but that's a whole other topic.
that's why. Well, other than the fact it's $300, I don't buy from them. So
yeah.
But they're the only place I've ever seen one.
Somebody else has to have them.
Probably.
Somebody does. I don't know where, but somebody has to have them.
Somebody does have a, I guess, there's others out there if you can find them, but they're not any cheaper. Stanwoods, yeah. My table Swift is a Stanwood, which is surprising because it was less than $30 on Amazon, which is surprising because I thought it would have been more expensive. But it had more of the holes on the bars. Like some of the cheaper ones just have like 3 or 4, so you you're limited to the size of the skein.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to get going because it's 2:00 now. So
Yeah, we
can I just
probably
do
ought
my
to finish
plug
up
for the
too.
magazine? So if you haven't got issue 15 yet, go and get it.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
out for
Get it,
free. You
download.
can find it in my link
Free.
tree. Yeah.
Cross
You don't-
stitch our friends, and then you'll have
Yeah.
them in your home.
Yes. Yes.
That would
That's
be
kind of a
nice.
weird thing to think of.
It's a little,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't
it's a
know.
little,
I don't know how many people will actually do it, but I think
Right.
it's quite cute, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's
It is.
And
I
Mike-
like the concept, but I'm like, are we cross
And-
stitched in people's homes?
Oh yeah,
Now
and
do you feel like you
BS
have to?
did
Because-
such a good job with this issue. So and we worked.
Yeah,
her
you did,
to
BS.
death
It's a
over
beautiful
this.
issue.
And she was
Yes.
trying to do
Very
her.
nice.
She's got about 17 businesses, and she was running all of them at the same time as trying to do the magazine. So,
crazy.
When is the next issue?
oh God, let me.
Well,
let
no,
me have a rest.
submissions. No, I meant
You
so
want it
people can
tomorrow?
claim-
Can't cry on live
No.
TV.
so people can submit things so you have
Oh.
patterns for it. I'm trying
Has
to help you out.
the-
Neil.
deadline, submission deadline.
The next
Yeah.
issue is Dog Days, so you can
Mhm.
interpret that in any way you like. And the cut-off date will be August the 15th.
Okay.
So we're hoping to release the last day of August or the first day of September around.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And I've got some interesting things. I've already written one article for that issue. Yay, cool.
See.
How do you feel about the cover though? Ooh, it's getting what's it now, isn't it, with the covers? It's getting very,
Competitive.
very competitive.
Well,
I don't know.
I barely have any ideas for the upcoming one. But I'm like, Dog Days. Molly. I don't know
Exactly.
what
Oh, Molly.
she doesn't like sweaters or blankets or anything though, so I'd have to get creative.
Make her a hat.
Oh, it was beautiful.
She's a
Sabbath.
very
It was a
flat
great
head.
magazine.
She's a bulldog. She's very
Make her a
doesn't have to
fez.
wear-
Make her a fez
A
hat.
bandana.
She doesn't have
Make
to
her a
wear it
bandana.
for more than the podcast. I mean, for the pattern, you just need to get her picture in it once, and then she never has to
Uh-huh.
wear it again.
Yeah, BS just said about the photography. Yeah, so this is not a dig at you, Anne, but this is if you do send photos for a pattern that you've made or anything, the best thing is to send as many photos as possible.
Yes.
So with Annie, I think we had nearly 100 photos, and it
Wow.
was brilliant because that meant we could do other stuff with it, and I was able to do that video because I'd like to do one of those videos for one pattern for every issue, really. You know, whatever's on the cover, try and have that little
Yeah.
video to go with it. But I can't do that unless there's enough photos to go with it. So,
Speaking of our Cabot Cove darling, she has a new episode up. So
I'll have to watch
Oh,
that tomorrow.
episode
I'm
3.
going to bed
So
now.
go watch her when you're done with us and give her some
Ooh,
love because we
nice.
miss her very, very much.
Uh-huh.
And
But anyway,
yeah,
right.
the
So
dog days.
I shall see you soon. And
All right.
well, don't forget to tune in on Thursday for the election special, even though you'll be doing your Insurrection Day.
We got to
Right,
eat all the
doing
hot
on that
dogs.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you should
Fireworks,
stop that and think about Mother
knitting wars
England.
tomorrow.
Mother England.
Knitting
Sure.
wars tomorrow. Yeah.
Knitting Wars tomorrow. Who do you have coming? Do you know?
It's always a little up in there. It sounds like Polka Dot will be there though. I always love to
Nice.
Nice.
Anyway, sorry. Right, I'm going to go. Bye-bye.
Hi,
Bye.
Neil. That's nice. She's very
Mhm.
sweet, and she makes adorable little
Oh gosh,
stuffed animals, which
I'll probably
I don't
show it
need any
then.
right now.
I know, but she had this little hippo that is the cutest
Aw.
thing. I'll probably show it tomorrow. But anyways, sorry.
Ooh, Chicken Lady might be there.
Ooh,
Nice.
come on, Lynn, come join us.
Ooh.
Yeah. All right. So are we good? It's after 6.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Gotta
I need to go
do
eat
stuff. Yeah, me too.
and go see how my son talked to him because he had a breakup today. So it's not as bad as it could be, I don't think, but we'll see. So, but thanks everybody
It's
for
still
coming
hard.
and joining us and chatting and interacting and
Nice.
get ready for Shark Week. If you're participating, get your form
Shark Week.
in.
It's coming.
I put it in the link,
I got to do my form.
but if not, go to Anne or DK's Instagram. You can find the link there as well.
Yep, I have a link
Mhm.
in my description on my Instagram.
And
Sure, DK
please
did.
participate because it's so much fun and all the
Oh, it is
pictures.
fun.
And
And everybody wins because everybody gets stickers. And everybody who plays along gets entered in for the giveaway.
That's right. And you can watch
And
fun,
challenge
educational
yourself. Yeah.
programming,
Uh-huh.
or
It's only a
horror
week.
movies about sharks. Either way, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So, all right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for coming in,
Bye.
guys.
Shark Week coming. That was